Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back. I know it has been very long since I did a YouTube video, but today I want to share something that will require a long form content, and I'm really excited for it. For those who don't know, I am Ria and I make content on finance and my money mindset. I'm also an investment banker by profession and I run a financial blog. To start with, the purpose of this video is to share my way of dealing with a payday. It's my payday today, so I am gonna be very excited to receive the money and then I'm gonna allocate that money to all different aspects of life. But I know that a lot of people struggle with being happy with what they're getting paid. How do I manage all my money? How do I save money and things like that? While I'm not an expert, but I can tell you that this is my lived experience and you can follow these tips and tricks. And if you stay till the end, I will also share some of my mindset tips that have helped me over the last 1 year to improve my finances. So without wasting any time, let's start. The first thing to do, even before you receive a salary, is to understand what your financial goals are. For a very long time in my life, my only goal was to save money just because why not? But recently, it has been to rebuild my life. Life happened, I lost a lot of money, but I want to rebuild my financial health now. And the way I have rebuilt myself is by being very diligent with how I allocate my money. So I have multiple buckets that I put my money in. As soon as I receive my salary, the first thing that goes away is my LISA and my stocks and shares ISA. If you stay in the UK, you know that these are tax-free investments that one must make in order to save a lot of taxes on your investment and also get some marginal returns on it, as I call it. The second thing that goes out of my salary is money directly into trading 212, which is purely a stock and ETF portfolio that I hold. And that is because I am a finance professional, so I understand markets. Of course, I'm not recommending people do that if they don't have the knowledge of financial markets. The third thing that goes is money kept aside for my rent because it's a significant chunk here in the UK. And then I leave out some money into my savings account as buffer for, any emergencies where you need liquid funds. And then finally, I do leave out some money where I can just splurge and spend. And even that has been allocated into different aspects like food and grocery and shopping and stuff like that. And I have a cap on how much I can spend each month on these categories. The reason why it is so important to have all of these categories is because our brain is used to falling prey to our old habits and patterns. And in order to break that pattern, it is important to give your brain a routine to stick to. When you write down all your goals and when you make sure that this is the only amount left in your bank to spend, you can't spend more. So if you have a direct debit that goes into your savings account and your investment accounts, that is money you just cannot use. It's just not there in your bank. And then one can argue that, oh, what if I use your credit card and stuff? Yes, you can go rogue. There are multiple ways to go rogue. But if you have your goals written down, if you have everything set out like a plan, the likelihood is that you will try and stick to it rather than having nothing on a piece of paper and then try to say something. Now, I have deliberately rushed through this section because the advice I just gave was very simple, very generic, but you have to trust me that it works. If you continuously keep doing it every month, it will work, but you have to get into granular details. You have to make sure that this is the maximum I will spend on groceries. This is the maximum I can spend on eat outs. This is the maximum I can spend on shopping. But you should also keep a cap on how much I'm investing and how much I'm saving. The reason is that you don't want your brain to feel that your daily spending is a restriction, because then there's a negativity around spending and then that just completely ruins your relationship with money, and we do not want that. So if you have a cap for investing and savings as well, it works. On the flip side, you can also think that this is the maximum that I have. Let's go rogue and let's spend it. Fine, if that works for you, great. Do whatever that works for you, but make sure that your brain has a plan to run with so that you can logically cut your old patterns and your old habits in order to get out of that loop of overspending, over shopping, or cribbing about money, and all sorts of things that we do when we don't have enough money in our mind. Everyone has enough money. That is my unbiased, like unpopular opinion. And that opinion has been very recently developed. Even I used to crib about, oh, I don't have money, my salary is so less, and all of those things, but it's not. It is not. And it has taken me time to build this relationship with money. Um, if you want to dive deeper into how much percentage should I save or how much percentage should I put in my investments and stuff, you can reach out to any financial advice and they should be able to help you with that. Or you can build your own goals and decide for yourself. There is no one formula for everybody. I believe that everyone's goals are different, everyone's relationship with money is different. So, what you do with your money really depends on all of these factors that are very specific to you, and there is no one single formula that you can follow. So, I am not here to give you financial advice, but I can tell you that this concept of compartmentalizing your money into various different compartments and trying to stick with it really, really does work. And there will be months where you will have to, mix and match, and there will be times where you can't follow this money routine, and you're supposed to be okay with it. Like, just forgive yourself for that month or justify it, but don't make it a pattern. Your brain works in patterns, so don't make it a pattern. If it becomes a pattern, it becomes a habit, and then that becomes your reality, whether you like it or not. That is exactly how neuroscience or spirituality or financial advice, everything works this way. So you have to break your pattern by compartmentalizing your money and then make sure that you stick to it for long term. Of course, you can be flexible, but try to stick to it as much as possible. Now, finally, moving on to the mindset bits that I was talking about. So, as soon as you receive your salary, you are elevated, you're very happy, you want to go out, eat, have fun, party. It's great. You should be doing that. But you remember, I told you that there should be a direct debit for your investments and savings. Now, understand this, your brain will always try to take dopamine. Your brain will always try to be in the comfort zone. The job of your brain is to protect you and to save you. How can it protect you? Your brain only has historical information that it can accumulate and make inferences from. Artificial intelligence, whatever data you feed into it, it will give you the quality based on the data that's fed into it. That is exactly how our brains work. It's artificial intelligence, but that's the intelligence right here. So understand that historically you are told 100 different things about money. You've made assumptions that are baseless, but that is what the information is in the mind, and that's what exists. So your mind is going to try and protect and defend that information, that comfort zone, just to be able to save you. So your mind is not your enemy, mind just doesn't know any better. It's important to understand how your mind works so that you can understand how your relationship with money can improve. Now, mind works in patterns, as I told you. It only has historical information. However, it is trainable. You can train your mind to think a certain way. You can break patterns, make new patterns. And all of this information is not new. I understand that. But I'm reiterating it to you from a financial perspective. The number one tip that I can give you to start breaking this pattern in your mind whenever the word money comes up is stop cribbing about money. Seriously, just stop it. You are not you're going to promise me from today onwards that you are never going to say that you don't have enough money, or your salary is not justifiable, or money is difficult to earn, or people who are rich are asses, or whatever you want to call it. Just stop it. Money is just a commodity, and that is that. It can multiply, it can shrink, it can flow. That is all. Money is like water, it can flow. So Number one thing to do is stop cribbing about money. And number two is to start working, start looking at yourself and working on your patterns. Understand what your patterns are when it comes to money. For me, for almost, I would say, 2 years, I kept saying that money is difficult to earn. I have to hustle in order to get money. I have to be in a certain city or in a certain kind of job to be able to earn money. But that is not true. uh, it's my lived experience that you do not need to have the conventional route only in order to get money. Money will flow. You need to learn how to make money flow. And that flow comes with time. That flow comes when you start working on your patterns, when you start recognizing what your patterns are. For me, I used to spend a lot on my nails, I used to spend a lot of money on shopping just to be able to comfort myself that I have enough money and it's fine. I can still afford all of these things, so it's fine. I don't need to prove that. I don't need to buy excessively to be able to prove to myself that I've got money. If I have money, I just have it. I don't have to do anything about it. So that is the pattern I recognized. I started doing this compartmentalization and it worked wonders. Now I don't need to buy anything. I can just buy it if I want to, which I still do, but it's not excessive. It's not coming out of a place of need. It's just coming because why not? So there is a big difference when you start recognizing your patterns and working on breaking those patterns versus when you don't work on yourself. So that is going to be my second tip. And finally, the last tip is, which I always vouch for, is you have to spend in order to earn. That is how money will flow. A flow has back and forth. You have to spend, you have to invest in order for you to grow. You have to pay money for schooling, you have to pay money to build your skills, you have to pay money to buy value, you have to pay money to buy certain products, even food and water these days. So money has to go in order to come. And when money goes, what you think matters, because if you are always reluctant of spending money, that means your mind is thinking that, oh, I don't have enough money, or the world doesn't have enough money for me, so I need to hold this tightly. But when you spend it with a mindset that there is enough, I have the ability to earn more money, and I'm going to go and earn more money and take an action for it, that is when the money starts flowing, because you start taking action from the back and forth, the spending and earning, and that is how your money will flow. This might sound a little woo woo to some people, but trust me, your mind has very beautiful ways of working, and this is one of the ways my mind has worked. And I'm not saying that I'm there yet, I'm not a millionaire or a billionaire or anything, but this is my lived experience. It has worked for me for 1 year. So my appeal to you is simply just try this out for, say, 6 months, and then come back in the comments and tell me how it goes, because I have a feeling that this is going to work. It is simple. It's really simple. I everyone knows this. I know I'm not saying anything different, but it's important to reiterate and explain that this is my lived experience. And yeah, this is all I wanted to say. I know it's not very long, but and I've flapped around quite a bit, but I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you learned something out of this. Please, please, please implement this. And that's all I wanted to say. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, then like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, do all of those marketing things that are required for one to grow. But yes, I will keep coming up with more content as and when time permits, and as and when I have topics for you. But till then, take care. Bye bye. Actually, after shooting the video, I realized that I want to add this thing as well into my video. So, everything that I just shared, the mindset piece I've been working on for almost a year now. But the action, that is the compartmentalization of money, that I've started doing over say the last 6 months or so. It's a very small time frame, but the impact that I've gotten is really good. The amount of money saved may be small for general public, but what that does to my mind is it gives me faith that I have the ability to save money. I have that what it takes in me to take that action and be within my compartments and help me save money, and that motivates me more the next month to save more, and then the month after that it helps me even better. And I think that builds the confidence that one needs in order to progress in their money journey or investing journey or savings journey, and achieve all your goals. So yeah, that is my lived experience, and it is working very well for me.